Hey there, thanks for spending some time with me today. Today I'm deep diving about my first real estate deal. So here we go. So my first real estate investing deal was actually a wholesale deal. So what wholesaling is, to those of you who don't know, it's an investing strategy. It's when I find a homeowner and agree on a purchase price and sign a contract with the seller. Now I have equitable interest in the property and essentially control the property. I then find a fix and flip investor who's willing to pay more for the property and sign a new contract with them, now assigning my rights of the contract to the new buyer. So, my first deal, I started investing in real estate in Northern California. I had a marketing I actually had planned to market to a specific niche list. I think it was a high equity list. The type of marketing I did was to send direct mail or letters to this list. I don't remember exactly how many letters I sent, but I know it was a few thousand letters, and every week at the printing house, a batch would just drop in the mail. So I will go into detail when I deep dive on marketing for off-market properties. But this particular seller called me 6 months after she initially received my letter. We chatted on the phone about the house and her situation. The seller lived in the property that she inherited from her mother who passed away. She said that the house needs work and she doesn't have the money to fix it up. So next, I made an appointment to see the house a few days later. At the appointment, I walked through the house and took photos of the interior and exterior, and I noted the repairs it needed to bring it up to top dollar in the local market. So the house was definitely dated. It was actually a borderline hoarder house because in the garage, you didn't know there was an actual car parked in the garage because it was covered with so much stuff, just stuff from her mom's stuff and her stuff. So the house was free and clear, meaning the house was paid off and it didn't have a mortgage owed to it. So I went back home after the appointment and ran my numbers, knowing how much she had wanted for the house. So a few days later, I sent her a contract and sent her pretty much my offer. So we then renegotiated the purchase price, but eventually agreed to the terms and we would pay $190,000 cash. So since this is a cash deal, the benefits to the seller is she doesn't have to do anything on the house. She doesn't have to clean it up or fix anything. We bought it in as is condition. So she didn't have to stage it for an open house. In fact, I remember telling her she could literally just pack her clothes and walk away, leaving literally everything in the house, and we would cover the cost of cleaning it up, which is what we did. Our closing date was scheduled at 45 days out because the seller needed to find a new place to rent. So typically on these type of transactions on a cash deal, my typical inspection period is 30 days or less, as long as any contingencies are met and there are no title issues. But that wasn't the case on this deal, and I'll explain more later. So next, I then connected with a fix and flip investor, and they bought the deal from me for $200,000. So I got it under contract with the seller for $190,000, and then I found a fix and flip buyer and got a property under contract for them for $200,000. So after they signed the contract, they put in a $25,000 non-refundable deposit at the title company. So now you fast forward a few days before we were scheduled to close. The title rep calls me and says the title report had missed the fact that there was an IRS lien on the house. And I'm like, what? So that means anytime there's a lien on a house and the house is sold, the liens must be paid first. So this could be bad and be a deal breaker, especially if the lien owed is more than the purchase price I had agreed with the seller. So are you ready for this? The seller owed $100,000 to the IRS. $100,000. Fortunately, my contract price with the seller was $190,000, meaning after she pays the IRS, she would net $90,000 because the new buyer would pay closing costs and fees. So at the close of escrow, after the IRS was paid, the seller signed the final paperwork, the new buyer came in, The seller handed over the keys to the new buyer, and then the buyer immediately had their construction crew get started on the rehab project, and I deposited my assignment fee of $10,000 to the bank. So that is the story of my first deal. I got into this deal literally with $0 in it. I pretty much just spent money on finding a distressed seller and connected them with the fix and flip investor, and I made a wholesale fee of $10,000. So yeah, so that's the story of my first deal. I hope this added some value to you. If you are in Arizona, in Las Vegas, or in Northern California, we are looking for our next rental and our buyers in those markets. So if you are a wholesaler, an investor, an agent, or know someone who is looking to sell their house quickly, connect with me and let's see if we can make an offer on the house. If this added value to you, connect with me on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at invstrmom. That's invstrmom. That's my handle. If you are in the business and want to do deals and JV in Arizona, Las Vegas, or Northern California, you have a lead, or you need underwriting, run comps, chat about marketing or systems, or whatever it may be about all things real estate, I can look at your deals. I can make an offer if I can. So whatever that may be. So if you're in the business, let's do it. Let's connect. Go ahead and DM me or text me at 480-808-5363. And lastly, whatever you're doing to work towards your life goals, remember to never give up. Until next time, keep building.